Hello everybody and welcome back. This is a long overdue channel update. For those of you guys that have seen the last video on this truck, that was about 6 years ago, which means that this truck was painted about 7 entire years ago. And I just wanted to give a little update on the fact that the truck is still around, it is still alive, and give an update on what we're going to be doing with this channel. So basically I'm going to focus on the truck more the first half of the video. The second half of the video will be channel updates and stuff, so you don't have to stick around for that if you don't want to. But first things first, let's focus on the most important thing, my truck. It is still here, it is still alive. Like I said, this truck was painted about 8 years ago, roughly little over 8 years ago, and a lot has changed in those 8 years. This truck's went through a lot of iterations, but basically this is the iteration that I've stuck with. This is the one that I like the most. This truck has been in my family since it was brand new, bought in 1975 by my great grandfather. And yes, that is correct, double great. It was my grandfather's truck. He bought it brand new in 1975. It was given to my grandfather when he passed away, and my grandfather gave it down to me as my first car, and this is what I drove all through high school. Like I said, there's been a lot of changes to this truck since the last time that you guys saw this truck on this channel. Just to go over a few things, I mean, it's very obvious. It has of course, the last time you guys saw this truck, it had really cheap hubcaps on it from Walmart. I put on the original dog dish hubcaps. We got these wheels powder coated, and it is sitting on rubbers of bias ply tires. These are BF Goodrich Silvertowns. They are the wrong size. The truck is supposed to have 600 by 14. These are 700 by 14. But thanks to Coker Tire, these things are fantastic. They are horrible for daily driving. I absolutely hate how they drive. But I love how they look, and that's all that really matters. The camper shell was original to the truck. It was purchased in 1975 or 76. I have added the lights to the shell and restored the shell, replaced all of the black trimming and stuff, cover up all those screws. As you can see, the truck does have mud flaps. The ones on the front do say LUV, the ones in the back are just Chevy, just because they're impossible to find anything for this truck as it is. CB radio antenna, I had a CB radio phase for a while, where that was all I cared about was CB radios. So I got this thing hooked up with a 102-inch whip. Towing mirrors, I've never seen another set just like this. I have no idea what these are from. Don't ask me, I have no idea, but I love how they look. I do have a cab visor on top, metal windshield wipers. Up here on the front, we've got bumper guards, and these, I believe these are Vanguard brand. I believe they're from the 70s. Driving lights. I don't really believe they're much of a fog light, but they are more of a driving light. Other than that, the interior, we ended up going back to the bench seat versus the buckets that were in here the last time this truck was seen, just because I prefer, again, the originality of it. Got these really nice door panels on here. There's a cup holder there from Amazon, just because I need a cup holder. And then, of course, up under here is the original power plant. I do have the original air cleaner back on the truck. There is a Weber carburetor underneath of that because the original carburetor just gave us some trouble, so I ended up putting a Weber carburetor on it. I got an air filter adapter so I could run the original air cleaner with all the hoses and stuff on there. But this truck is here, very original. The motor has been gone through since the last video that we took, just because I accidentally, as a very dumb teenager, overheated it and warped the original head and just completely ruined that. So good job me. So there's a new cylinder head on there thanks to somebody that I contacted online. So thanks to him to let me keep this truck running. So with all of that, we're going to go on a nice drive, nice POV drive. We're going to focus more on the truck itself, like I said, and then the later half of the video I got to go run an errand. Once I leave the post office, we will have a nice channel update. Get my keys out of my pocket. This truck does, of course, have the original ignition key and the dealership keychain there. All Chevrolet from years ago. Still runs great, still starts right up every day. I don't drive this truck as much as I used to. Just because I have newer cars and stuff now. I do have these horrible seat belts from eBay that I need to replace at some point. Other than that, it's still going. Like I said, this truck was painted and restored about 7 years ago now, which means that it does have some issues. It's not perfect, it's not flawless, it does have some problems. It's showing its age in places, and just a few other little things that need to be updated on it. But other than that, it's still here, it's still alive. It's not a show truck. It was never meant to be a show truck. I do haul, tow and haul with this truck like it was meant to be. For those of you who don't know anything about these trucks, this one is a 1975. This truck was built 100% by Isuzu. The engine under the hood of this truck is a Isuzu G180S. The later ones were G180Zs. This one produces about 75 horsepower at 5,000 RPM, which is an insane amount of power, obviously. Basically, as you drive this truck around, you are doing nothing but impeding the traffic of absolutely everyone else around you. That's about all you're doing. And then with the bias ply tires, I can't corner at any sort of speed anymore. When you put radios on this truck, like I had on it years ago, I could actually handle this thing pretty good. But now I have bias ply tires, so yeah, you just kind of muscle it around corners and stuff now. This truck is, again, originality is one of my things. Keeping it how my great-great-grandfather had it back in the day is something that I really push for. So this thing does still have 4-wheel drum brakes on it and everything else. Like I said, it does have a Weber carburetor on it. It does have a Pertronix electronic ignition, which is cool. See if I can change lanes here without killing myself. Like I said, this truck is very slow. 75 horsepower is about all it musters, and even that is very rough. That's a BRZ there. So 0 to 60 time, I believe I timed it years ago. I don't push this truck to its limits anymore, but last time I timed the 0 to 60 on this truck, it was pretty much 20 seconds flat. Like I said, I apologize for being all over the place, but the truck does have 4-wheel drum brakes still. 75 horsepower, so you're not going anywhere quick. 4-speed manual transmission with no overdrive, which means at 60 miles an hour you are turning a gobsmocking 4,000 RPM. So this truck is not meant for interstate use. Did that stop me as a teenager? Absolutely not. I've had this truck up to 90 miles an hour at one point in its life. But like I said, I do not do that anymore. I'm a little bit nicer to it now. Some other things that I've done to this truck, I do have some Stanix garage stuff on it. I've got his shift knob, pulls, turn signal lever, because here's a fun fact. If you go back and listen to that original video, right as I'm about to start the truck, you can hear a plastic snap. And that was me snapping the original turn signal lever clean in two. So thanks to him, thankfully he produces a aluminum replacement. I was able to have a turn signal lever again. And I just bought a couple other things from him. I have the door steps as well that say love on them, and just random things. This truck is geared like a truck. You can do second gear, you can still creep along at like 3 miles an hour. This thing is so over geared. It's got 456 rear gearing, and first gear is super low, which just is why this truck can move and tow and haul stuff. But makes it absolutely terrible on the highway. Fuel economy, if anybody's curious, I average just under 20 miles per gallon with this truck. I sit right at 19-20 miles per gallon with a Weber, the way that I drive it around town. I've gotten it up as high as I think 26 miles per gallon, but I've never had it any higher than that with this carburetor setup. It is a 50-year-old truck. It is 2025. This truck is 50 years old. Some of the seals are whistly and different things like that, but overall it's a surprisingly quiet truck. I even have an exhaust leak on this truck. I need to replace the muffler on it. So it has an exhaust leak and stuff, and that makes noise and does weird things, but it's still surprisingly quiet for what it is. As you notice, I do need an alignment. I completely rebuilt the entire front suspension on this truck, and the alignment shop didn't know how to align it, because it has one shaft that you can turn, and it adjusts both tire rods for both front tires at the same time. They didn't know how to align the steering wheel and align the wheels at the same time, so they aligned the wheels and fucked up my steering wheel, which is what it is. I gotta find somebody that can fix that for me at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. Like I said, I don't drive this truck very much anymore. With it being in the family since it was new, though, I'm just gonna jump around here. This truck does only have 49,000 miles on it. Those are 49,000 original miles. This truck has not been driven very much. The vast majority of the mileage on this truck actually was put on by me. This thing had less than 20,000 miles when I first started driving it. I don't know how long I was sitting at a green light, but I sure was, because I wasn't paying attention. Hopefully it just went green and I wasn't sitting at a green light for 14.5 hours. That's what you get for talking and making a video at the same time, isn't it? I'm surprised that guy behind me didn't honk. Maybe it did just go green. I don't know. What do I know? That's pretty much all you hear the entire time you're driving this truck. Very quiet. The Weber 2-barrel, actually, you know, a lot of people go back and forth on whether or not they like swapping the Webers in place of the original Hitachi carburetor. I don't think it's a bad swap. I think these trucks run very good with a Weber carburetor on them. I'm sure a tuned Hitachi runs just as well, but you know. Looks like there's a shit ton of people at the post office. Great. That's great. That's what you love to see on a day where you gotta mail something. It is almost Christmas time. I guess that would explain why the post office is absolutely horrid. Park up right here. This guy with a trailer can still get out if I park here, unless he can't drive. That's his own problem at that point, though, isn't it? Alright, let me go run a quick errand. We'll be right back.